Coronavirus cases continue to rise in much of the country. For a fourth straight day, the virus claimed more than 1,000 American lives. 1,733 new cases of coronavirus is the highest single-day total since the pandemic began. You do seem a bit panicky in the dress right now. All you need is a groom, and I think I hear the phones ringing out in the newsroom right now. A lot of volunteers. Bye. No?
Bye.
Oh, she's walking away. She's out. All right.
There's still a lot of police around with a lot of tactical gear. You have a lot of different jurisdictions that are taking care of this. You have sheriffs that are right behind me. That was CPD that just went past.
Brad, you got to watch out for those killer baby seals. They'll sneak up on you and get you.
It's actually a drive-through ceremony. You can see the people are already lined up. They're about to get started any moment now. They're going to drive up. They're going to get a gift basket and a certificate, and then they're going to jump out of their car, and they're going to get a picture with their favorite counselor. Very socially separated.
Well, Cami, the program's designed to compensate victims of violent crime and their survivors if victims are murdered. But it turns out a lot of those survivors end up paying all of their own bills because they're paying for a crime that the victim may have committed before his death.
Scenes like this peppered throughout Beaver Creek. Look at this huge tree just ripped straight from its roots, and so much debris absolutely everywhere. Take a look at this construction debris. These are trusses, but I'm looking around and there's nothing like this anywhere. These might have come from a neighborhood perhaps a quarter mile down.
Whether it is a water pipe or rolling papers, you will no longer have to wink and tell people, hey, it's just for tobacco. With a 5-3 vote, the City Council this morning removed the $150 fine and the stigma that went along with using marijuana.
This is Good Morning Cincinnati Sunday, live on Local 12.
A stark warning from Mayor Cranley as bars and restaurants open in Cincinnati with crowds of people not social distancing. The coronavirus inspires Cincinnati's best musicians to resurrect what was created for the troops in World War II. We'll show you what they are creating. Good morning, everyone. Nice to have you here. I hope you've had a good Sunday morning. I also hope that you got your morning walk in or your run in, because if you did not, you're going to get wet this afternoon. Brad, just how soggy are people's shoes going to be getting today?
Well, some people are going to get real soggy. We'll talk more about that in your full Weather Authority forecast coming up. David.
All right, thanks, Brad. We are suffering this morning from a first weekend of reopening bars and restaurants hangover. The Ohio Health Department allowing outdoor seating beginning Friday night, and it did not go smoothly for everybody. Now, Cincinnati's mayor is issuing a stern warning to those who did not comply with state-mandated social distancing. Have you seen the pictures making the rounds on social media? They show crowds of people at different bars in Cincinnati not social distancing. The Blind Pig on 3rd Street downtown, no exception. The Rosedale on 12th Street in OTR. It's also getting a lot of attention. Local 12's Alexa Hellwig talked to one of Rosedale's owners. He admits that there were moments when things did get out of hand.
It got a little bit later into the night. Sometimes they're, not standing right on the X as they should.
Rosedale says it has already made changes, not allowing people to order from the bar and removing some tables to allow more space between seated groups. Cincinnati Mayor John Cranley says that he met yesterday with the city manager, police, and the health department, and he says that they plan to have more health compliance teams out around town to make sure everyone is complying with state health directives. He says he can and he will shut down bars if they do not maintain standards. The Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra and the Cincinnati Pops are debuting the first piece of music in a new series called The Fanfare Project. The music aims to inspire and uplift the community and the world in the midst of the pandemic. Local 12's Catherine Robinson reports from Music Hall to show us how the project is coming together.
Even the orchestra is isolated right now. Reporting from Music Hall, Catherine Robinson, Local 12 News.
All right, thanks, Catherine. The symphony played a live stream performance from Music Hall last night on what would have concluded the 125th anniversary season. The orchestra is working on more media and video projects to be released over the next few months. Well, they put their lives on the line in the battlefield, but now veterans' lives are in jeopardy at home. We investigate flaws in the Veterans Suicide Hotline and what is or is not being done about it. That's tomorrow, only on Local 12 News, live at 11. We have new information this morning about a fatal police shooting in Claremont County. Police say that the officer fired her gun after her stun gun did not work on a man that she was trying to subdue. Police responded Thursday night to a disturbance on Buxton Road and Elick Lane in Union Township. The report says that Robert Tincher was yelling at cars and kicking signs. When the officer got to the scene, police say that Tincher confronted her with a knife and refused to put it down, and that's when she tried tasing him.
It did not have the desired effect. He continued to approach the officer. At that time, she discharged her firearm, hit the subject. He was transported to a local hospital, and he succumbed to his injuries.
Union Township police say that they've had past encounters with Tincher. The officer involved is now on leave, which is standard operating procedure in an officer-involved shooting like this.
This is Local 12 News at 11.
Well, good evening, everybody, and good to have you with us on this very busy Saturday night. It's a night of worry for millions of people across the country, hundreds of thousands in our viewing area who are now wondering how they're going to pay for their next meal, let alone how they're going to pay for rent. The $600 a week supplement to people's unemployment checks is now gone as the program expires. Eviction protections are now gone as that federal program expires. Congressional leaders and the White House today scrambling to come up with a compromise for a new stimulus package.
We're not close yet for the benefit of the American people.
Well, Democrats and Republicans say their staffs will work through the weekend, and then both sides will meet again on Monday. Now there's talk of canceling the August congressional recess if a bill is not passed. An agreement will not come soon enough for thousands in greater Cincinnati who depended on that extra $600 a week to make ends meet. Alexa Hellwig caught up with a woman tonight who used to serve food but is now wondering how she's going to pay for food for her children.
A server and bartender at the Phoenix. Alexa Hellwig, Local 12 News.
All right, thank you, Alexa. So many people struggling out there. Ohio senators now piping in. Senator Rob Portman released a statement to the press today urging colleagues to set aside their differences. And Senator Sherrod Brown tweeted, workers, their families, and everybody struggling deserves better. Well, Mother Nature today just could not make up her mind. It was sunny and hot. It was rainy and mild. It was cloudy and cloudy. What in the world was going on out there, Tara Blake?
Don't blame me. It was Mother Nature. Back to you, David.
All right, thanks, Tara. We're going to beat you to that one. Turning now to that powerful storm that's bearing down on Florida. Tropical storm Isaias was downgraded from a hurricane just before pummeling the Bahamas this morning. Heavy winds and surf pounding the islands, forcing thousands of people to lose power. Isaias is now making its way towards southeast Florida, where the storm is expected to gain strength and make landfall tomorrow. Luli Ortiz with our Sinclair station in South Florida is in Juno Beach with preparations amidst the pandemic.
For some, the windy conditions drew dozens of surfers out here to the beach to capitalize on the choppier conditions. In Jupiter, Florida, I'm Luli Ortiz.
Back at home, bullets start flying late this afternoon in Lincoln Heights, leaving a neighborhood rattled and a man fighting for his life. One man was shot 10 times and rushed to the hospital. Officers responded to Dantzler Drive near Adams Street shortly after 5 this evening, where they found the man critically injured. No word at this hour on the man's condition. Police are not saying whether they have a suspect. And more nerves rattled this time in Hartwell as a car plows right into a retail store. The driver barreling into the ColorFro store on Vine Street at about 2 this afternoon. The store still has its grand opening banner up as it's only been opened about a month. One of the people who helped run the business was hit by the car as it flew into the building. That person taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The building itself may not fare quite as well. Workers needing to stabilize the roof. We spoke to a co-owner who rushed to the business after getting a call he definitely was not expecting.
I was just surprised, like, who runs through a store and goes all the way through? Like, when I got the call, I said, I don't know, like, who does that? But it happens. It's an accident, I guess.
The driver of that car only had minor injuries. Investigators have not released what caused her to crash.
The kids in the hospital, especially right now, they probably don't have any toys and they're bored, so I think they should donate so the Cincinnati children can get toys for the hospital.
Oh, that little girl is just awesome. Peyton's lemonade stand kept people well quenched this morning with lemonade at 9 spots across Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. We first introduced you to 8-year-old Peyton Obert last year as she raised money to buy toys for kids at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Her mom, Jess, who works at the hospital, says that need is even greater this year.
Due to the pandemic, the hospital hasn't been able to accept any toy donations for several months, and they actually won't be able to accept any for the rest of the year. So we're really hoping that these funds will help them because they rely so heavily on donations like this.
Well, Peyton had a goal to reach $10,000. She didn't meet it. She actually tripled it, raising more than $30,000. Hey, let's see if we can help push that number even higher. Head on over to local12.com and we have a link where you can click and donate. We talk about turning lemons into lemonade. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, but when we do come back, cutting the spread of germs in classrooms, meet the new robot that could help speed up cleaning for schools as they try to make in-class learning as safe as possible.
David Winter is live in Putnam County, where 18 people died, but thousands more survived. David, so 18 people, this was where the death toll was the highest, but 25 in the region, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, that's true. 25 total in Tennessee. 18 died just here in Putnam County, and several of them right here in Cookeville. I'm sitting in a home certainly where the people should have died. This home was lifted off of its foundation. It flew all the way across that field, hit the tree, blew into pieces. The couple that was inside, they were thrown another 20 yards uninjured. So many people died, but so many people survived. And for the people who did survive, now it's just a fight to get back to normal.
If one was going to go, we were
interlocked, holding on. It wasn't going to take one of us. We weren't going to let it happen. It was going to take all of us. It was going to happen. If it was God's will, it was going to take all of us.
But the tornado did not take the Williams. It spared them, but it did not spare their home.
It was like a freight train. Everything started coming in on us a little bit, walls shaking, and then all of a sudden the lights went on, off, and then water everywhere, walls ripped up. Sounded like a freight train coming in. Literally sounded like just a roar.
2 tours in Iraq, shot and hit by a car bomb. Charles Williams says this was the worst thing he'd ever seen. And now he says he's battling his insurance company.
My truck, I still owe like $34,000, $35,000. They're only going to give like $19,000.
There's 5 of us in here, so yeah, it's a little cramped.
And like the Williams, the Kirkmans are also displaced, staying in a nearby motel and dealing with the scars of what happened.
Because he went outside and I said, do not die, Daddy. I really need you in my life.
Pure and utter chaos.
Tiffany Cook has it even worse.
There's 7 of us, and you don't have any privacy or personal space. Fighting for the bathroom. It's cramped, but at the end of the day, I think we're blessed to even be able to have a place to stay, because I know so many people do not.
Grabbed him, got him tucked under me and Tamara, between me and Tamara, and then I put my arms interlocked with her. She interlocked on him and just held on.
The bathroom where the Williams hid was the only thing left standing in their home. It may all be gone, but they are still thankful.
How did you guys survive? Oh no, other than God. God put his hand on us.
I remember we were praying.
Emma was praying in the bathtub.
That's all we did. We was just holding
The whole time. I remember hearing that, hearing everything. It was just, please God, please God.
But that's the only
God answered her prayer.
explanation that we had.
And while some people have time to deal with this disaster, for others, it's right back on the hamster wheel. The woman that you just met, the woman who has 3 children, she says that she had just gotten off of a 12-hour shift. So much to deal with when you have to deal with all of this. Reporting live from Putnam County, David Winter, back to you.
And David, let me ask you this. CBS News was reporting earlier that in the rural counties in Tennessee that people got an alarm mainly from their cell phones, but not through the sirens. Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. They said that about 30 seconds before the tornado hit, at least in this area, they received a notification on their phone. One man said, thankfully, he was able to have his phone on. If he had turned it off as he normally does at nighttime, he never would have gotten any warning at all, and he says that his whole family would have been killed.
I think this has a lot of us rethinking our own habits.
Recovering addicts are proving this evening what people can achieve if a second chance is given to them. Local 12's David Winter is live with a story you will only see right here on Local 12. David, I'm looking forward to this one, my friend.
Oh, it's a great story, Kyle. This is the first graduation ceremony since the pandemic began for the Cincinnati Center for Addiction Treatment. It's actually a drive-through ceremony. You can see the people are already lined up. They're about to get started any moment now. They're going to drive up, they're going to get a gift basket and a certificate, and then they're going to jump out of their car and they're going to get a picture with their favorite counselor. Very socially separated. At that point, they're going to head out the parking lot and get on with the rest of their lives. Harold Muller is rebuilding his life after drugs took it away.
The drugs told me when to get up in the morning, when to go to bed, what I was going to do that day, and how I was going to do it.
Harold is getting a little work in before graduation. His son Johnny by his side like he's always been. Unfortunately, it hasn't always been good. Harold was likely high in this picture, and this picture too, as he was being booked into jail. In and out of jail, he lost his job and his self-respect.
Living in an abandoned house and didn't have no running water, so I didn't shower for days, you know what I mean? So that was my rock bottom.
And worst of all, Harold says he shut out his children and disappeared.
Calling hospitals, calling jails, calling rehabs. But then, after a few months, we just left it alone.
Johnny took it hard.
What's it been like seeing your dad go through what he's been going through?
Rough. I hate to see him struggle.
Counselor Carly Danos says today's graduation is extra special because these recovering addicts have been successful during the COVID era, a time when they could not recover using traditional means.
So this really shows the diligence, the innovation, the creativity, and gosh, just the grit that these clients have.
A point that is not lost on Harold or Johnny.
Proud of him. Great guy. Great father. I love him.
To do that, I'm thankful I got both my kids in my life today. I'm grateful for that, right? And that's the benefits of staying clean one more day.
And Harold is one of the 13 people who is getting on with the rest of his life here today, taking it one day at a time. Reporting from the West End, David Winter, back to you.
All right, David, quite the celebration out there. A Wilmington couple charged with child endangering appear in court today, nearly a week after police removed their children from the home they call not suitable for humans.
Local 12's David Winter spoke with the Wilmington building inspector and the owner of the home this afternoon in a story you'll see only on Local 12.
Worst thing I've seen. Never in my life seen anything that bad.
Detective Scott Baker could not show his face today because of another assignment, but he was the first on scene Saturday when an anonymous caller alerted that children were living in squalor without heat or water. He found toddlers only in diapers, shivering, and absolute filth.
All the toilets were filled with human feces, and not only filled with it, it was just all over the seats, all over the entire toilet, just smeared down through there. And there were mounds of dog feces, rotted food on the counters, rotted food on the floors. It was just, nothing was ever cleaned, nothing was ever put away.
Two of the people living in the home appeared in court today charged with child endangering. 20-year-old Lisa Green and 21-year-old Kyle Seo are the parents of the toddlers found in the home.
These are with Channel 12. We just wanted to ask you a quick question about the condition of the home.
The defendants would not speak with us, but the building inspector would.
And the first words out of my mouth were, oh my God, could we have done something here? I was extremely shocked, yes.
And could you have?
If I knew it, yes, I guess I could have, if I knew it. But I can't just barge into your home, it's private.
We obtained documents from the city that show the homeowner has been cited multiple times over the last 12 years for debris and dilapidation. We met with the owners this afternoon and asked about the lack of water and heat in the home.
They have had their water on. They just haven't been using it. So apparently they told the police there was a leak, and my husband and I are going to repair the leak of the water.
And the heat?
They said that they had someone that could fix it, and they told us how much it was going to cost, and we excused part of their rent, and to our knowledge, they were having it fixed.
Are you slumlord?
No, sir.
Well, the toddlers are now with a foster family. The 2 teens who are also living in that home, they are now living with their grandparents nearby. And the emaciated dogs in the home, they're now with the SPCA. The defendants are all out on bond, and the police say they want their children back. Back to you.
Thank you, David. We'll continue to follow the story, of course, and police also say there may be more charges filed against the defendants as the investigation continues.